What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Sal. I'm going to try this because I was having an issue with my bandwidth yesterday. That's why I wasn't live. I'm excited to be back on today because it looks like everything's working so far. Yes, indeed. What's going on, everybody? Glad to be back on the air. So many football games I'm missing, but I got to get to this money. Of course, this episode, as always, brought to you guys by the great people over at equityfeed.com. Get 2 weeks free. No credit card required at equityfeed.com, the best scanner on the market. There is no replacement. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, another red day on the market today as we go through a lot of political turmoil going on in the world right now, man. I mean, there's a lot going on out there right now, and the market is responding. What's up, Thriller Ali, Herkemizer, Chris Steele, Bill Betts, A Bro, P Bank, J Young Album. Yes, indeed, as people slowly come into the room. This is how we chill from 93 till. Yes, indeed, man. This is one of my favorite songs right here. Let me just get my equity feed pulled up here and we'll get right to it. I guess Kim Jong-il still hasn't released that bomb yet. Gold is still responding nicely. Donald Hawkins, you said he's on his way to Miami. That's what's up. All right. So let's go ahead and get over. Safe journeys, Mr. Hawkins. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and get started. And ladies and gentlemen, okay, so we starting off the day with Apple. You know, if you guys have already seen, this is the daily chart for Apple. Huge tumble today as, you know, again, the market is responding clearly to the agitation that North Korea and the fear that North Korea is putting into Asian markets. You know, we saw overnight the Japanese currencies fall, Japanese markets rather fall, Asian markets entirely, Singapore, Philippines, all those markets were all down as their news cycle, just as ours, is focused completely on what's going on with North Korea right now. What's going on with North Korea right now? Everybody's focused on it. We're not even talking about the Russia situation anymore. Because we're all focused on what's going on with this Russia, this North Korea thing. Overall in the markets today, I wasn't really impressed. I mean, we had some movers, but for the most part, the NASDAQ was pretty quiet, being that the market was down. The market was down. We got off, what was that, Wednesday's show? Tuesday's show talking about gold. That's where I had my money yesterday, and I still have it in there today. It was a pretty easy call. You know, it was a pretty easy call. Just went deep in the money at 120 on GLD. You know, these are kind of situations where you just kind of know what's going to happen, just being that you've been in the market for some time. You know, I've been trading now almost 5 years. You kind of know what to do in these kind of situations. Just follow what everybody else is doing. GLD responding nicely with a nice move here, and I'm not going to sell until we see some kind of either military engagement or they come to the table with some kind of agreement. But right now, the chart says hold, and the news cycle says hold. And that's basically what we're seeing right now in gold, GLD, the Spider Gold Shares plays. You saw gold also rising in many of the other stocks, individual stocks. A couple plays off the top of my head. Let me look at MUX. Did that respond? Yep, MUX. That's a gold play off the top of my head. I know we talked about AUY. How did that do? AUY. Wow, okay. Nice move from AUY. Nice move from AUY. Let's see here. What else? Oh, absolutely, Mitch. That's absolutely right. I mean, you're absolutely right on that, bro. But you know, I've always believed that the stock market was rigged. You know, I've always kind of believed that to a certain extent. Uh, you know, so it is what it is. I have no doubt that some of the people who have many millions, many billions of dollars, they know the news cycle before we do, and they're able to take positions before we do, and they're immune from any kind of you know, action because of that, because they have so much money. So I think some of these banks are immune, you know, and they have the news cycle before we do. Yeah. I know I don't want to get into that, you know, Illuminati and all that talk, but man, that's some real ass shit. I used to think all that Rothschild shit was corny, and then I actually looked up, and there's actually a bank called Rothschild, and it's actually the descendants of that family. Like, they still run an actual bank, and that bank, you know, you can't even get the clear numbers on how much money that bank runs. There's ideas, but there's no real figure. They keep that a secret. What's going on, Quantavious? Stock Z, what's up, bro? Let us revolt. Let's go and look up again some other plays here. Again, I'm in options right now with everything that's going on. That's where the money is when you're seeing here macroeconomic inefficiencies and interruptions. You want to move into options because you get the big bang on some of these, you know, large cap stocks when they start moving like penny stocks, you know, where you get the 4 to 5 to 6% moves either way, depending on whatever is affecting the market. Let me see here. Some interesting moves. I saw that we had NVIDIA after hours. Well, it had a rough day today. NVIDIA had a rough day, period. But it's struggling after hours. If I'm not correct, we're almost $10 lower after hours right now in NVIDIA. But if you look at the chart, as I was saying in the Discord room, you know, NVIDIA is hot. I mean, look at the NVIDIA chart. This is a stock that I was playing back in March, and the line is literally my entry. I wish sometimes you can go in, you know, into the past and just do trades all over again, put more money into trades, keep trades on longer. You know, I was watching a movie, Time Cop. If you guys remember that movie, it was a movie called Time Cop, old ass movie, I think early 90s. And in the movie Time Cop, he goes back in time and he meets like a stockbroker friend who's like stupid rich. But because he's from the future, but he went into the past, and he's like a stockbroker in like the 1940s or 50s, and he's just killing it because he already knows what's going to happen. That's some deep ass shit. NVIDIA selling off even on good news, beating revenues and earnings expectations, but selling off because what you're having is just profit taking. That's basically what's happening with the stock. Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah, them options are paying off like a motherfucker right now. AZLF. Somebody bringing up AZLF. I'm looking for the chart here. Hold on. Let it find it. Am I putting it wrong? AZ. Is that a ticker? AZLF? That's not a ticker, bro. I'm not seeing anything on under AZLF. Craig G said that might be the play for tomorrow if the implied volatility drops. Yeah. Oh yeah. I like Nvidia on the rebound, bro. Nvidia on the rebound is beautiful. I love the idea of Nvidia on the rebound. But here's the thing though. Do you also think that it could be selling because of the situation in North Korea as well? You know, is that also why we're seeing a sell-off in Apple? You know, AAPL. We saw the sell-off in Apple. You know, Apple losing $5 today. You know, that's possibly a rebound situation. But how low can we go? How low can we go? You know what I'm saying? Add the Leon, it was supposed to hit today. You know what's going on with that? But I'm so frustrated. I'm just glad I'm done with that bullshit, because that should be going to 25 cents as low float as that is. There are barely any shares out there. AZFL. Yeah, okay, I thought so. It was something like that. AZFL up 40%. AZFL is one that's moved in the past too. But, you know, this is 2 days in a row for AZFL, so let's see what it can do. What's going on, Stock God? Yeah, man, I've been shocked at Dries. I don't know who's in control of Dries, but I've been shocked at what's going on with Dries right now. Dries is a joke, but it's been looking like a moneymaker over the last 3 days. You had some hesitation today, you know, where you're off 20 cents from the high, but at the end of the day, still, man, 3 days in a row for DRYS, the joke of the stock market. All of a sudden, it's running and doing very, very well. I thought lawsuits and the threats of lawsuits were supposed to bring the stock down. It's supposed to have the stock come crashing down, not going up. You got people excited about the company getting sued. I can't believe this. You know, I don't understand that. So it is what it is, man. Companies getting sued and people are buying the stock. Let me get the call up line up and running. Yeah, it's going crazy. Said you have nothing to fear with Dries if you day trade. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, with the action. Hold on here. And I'm watching my frame rate, because I know my frame rate's been an issue. I couldn't go on, as I said earlier yesterday, because my frame rate's been an issue for whatever reason these last couple of days. But I think the thing about Dries is that, you know, you do, like, you know, any OTC stock under a huge run, have a risk of this coming crashing down anytime. You know what I'm saying? Dries is the kind of stock that can lose, you know, 30%. You know, here's the 5-minute chart over the last couple of days, because I want to show you guys how impressive this has been. I mean, this is insane. Look at that. You know. And that midday, that 2 o'clock, you know, panic there. That 2 o'clock panic there was pretty indicative of what could possibly happen, you know. What could possibly happen? And we'll see if you still have some strength in there tomorrow, because I'll tell you this right now, if you don't crack that 210 tomorrow, 211, you might be in trouble. You know, that 211, You know, if you don't find a way to stay in between those green lines right there, you might be in trouble tomorrow, bro. You know? Yes, indeed. So look at the 30-minute chart. Let's look at the 30-minute chart. Here's the 30-minute chart. Yeah, very impressive. Let's go a little closer. There we go. 30 minutes. Yeah. I think you need to stay within that green line to show that this could possibly keep going. I think if you close anywhere beneath that green line, I think you're possibly looking at, you know, some selling either tomorrow or into next week, beginning of next week. Yeah, I'm not even a fan of that stock, man. That's just there's so much money to be made in other places. I wouldn't even, you know, why play that out of all, you know. You got some other plays out here that are a lot easier to play right now. You know, a lot of gold miners, a lot of, you know, beat up gold stocks you can play right now. What's going on, Africa Emporium? Yeah, exactly, Andres. I mean, maybe 3 or 4 reverse splits. I'd say probably 3. I think at least 3. If we include at least 12 months. I know I remember at least 2 this year alone. Since January, if I'm correct. Mr. Lloyd, what's going on with you, bro?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I do. Hear you loud and clear.
Oh my gosh, man! What a beautiful day!
Yeah.
What a beautiful day. Today, man. Degree is not in me anymore.
Good.
Well, some days it is. I just made $875.
Dang.
$875, man. And yesterday, of course, you saw the profits from yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm start posting my profits into that Lloyd's 10K goal. So basically, that 10K goal is what I need to get before in the tax year. Because I took a lot of L's at the beginning.
Yeah.
And so I need to make sure I get that done before I file my taxes.
Now, are you playing stocks or are you backing options? What are you doing now?
Man, I'm doing options.
Okay.
I'm basically scalping. I'm just scalping. I don't like to
just sit in the.
It's really. But here's the thing, man. It's like some light bulb just kicked on, man.
Okay.
And I think honestly, if you get beat up enough into the stock world, it's either you're gonna make it or you're not.
Okay.
And I was close, man. I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm not gonna take another loss. I mean, I'm just, you know, I'm burning too much cash. I'm not making no money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching all these stupid YouTube videos and all these people, these gurus and stuff, and I'm not making a dime.
Yeah.
But I finally developed a style that works for me. And it's nothing, you know, it's not like the stock guys method, but it's like when you know you got it, you got it. And I know some guys that are bringing in $10,000 to $15,000 a week, man. And it used to, my eyes, like I couldn't believe, you know, how they were doing it.
Yeah. So I mean, let us in on the methodology. I mean, to the madness. What are you doing that's different right now, or how are you trading? What are you doing to, you know, that turn it around?
Losing thousands and thousands of dollars. And the reason why I say that is when you lose that much, your emotions are not there anymore. But you know, when you first got started in trading, man, your emotions are really high. When you're down $20, $30, you back out, and then it goes back up again.
Yeah.
But with all the losses that have occurred, it basically made my mind numb from seeing when a stock goes down $160 or $200. Don't panic. You know, for example, that was a ZNNC.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when my threshold was 300. Anything over 300. I'm like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? So basically setting a standard for every play that I get into.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't go my way, I know some people cut their losses very quickly. My threshold is probably a little bit higher than most, but I just scalp all day, man. And, you know, taking $80 here. Remember, I told you I had a problem taking profits.
Yeah.
When I left $5,000 on the table, and the day before, so after the ZNSC, man, I took a nasty shit option play, was down $700. And you become paralyzed, man. You become paralyzed when you see your profits go down the drain. At least for me, I can't speak for everybody else.
Yeah.
But you know, realization like sets in, like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
550, 600. It's almost like you're trying to find the button to get the hell out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And normally if I take a loss like that, I have to sit back and recuperate and try to figure out, okay, what would be the highest probability trade for me to get that money back in? And it took me 2 days to get my losses back from the day before. So I'm hoping that I don't do another dumbass mistake and you know, now that I'm back even again, lose it all again. You know what I'm saying? So
sure.
I mean, I understand that you want to know what the secret is, and the secret, let me tell you, Steve Neeson was a start for me.
Yeah.
And basically, if you guys know who Steve Neeson is, he basically teaches you the candlesticks, and I think candlesticks are very important when it comes to understanding the psychology of the market and how the buyers and sellers are feeling.
Yeah.
And I don't do any what do you call it? I'm a technical trader, so I don't do any fundamentals whatsoever. I'm purely technical. And another thing too, man, is that I reduced a lot of indicators on my chart. You know, some people got 30, 40, 55 different indicators, and the problem is the paralysis sets in because you get so many different readings. I looked at one fucking guy's chart yesterday, boy. It looked like he threw a bag of Skittles on that bitch, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? So, but anyways, man, no, it's really no secret, man. And I wish I can. I don't know. I mean, do you think that? I mean, you make consistent gains each day, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when I was using SureTrader, I was posting my gains up the whole time. I thought maybe everybody would run and start posting gains too, but it wasn't like that. But yeah, absolutely, man. I make at least you know, when I play either the pennies or when I was shorting, anywhere between three. Sometimes, you know, you'd get the 150 to 300 to anywhere to between 600 a day. You know what I'm saying? Doing it my way, but you know, I prefer promoting because that's easier money. But yeah, but at the end of the day, but, of course, man, getting, you know, gains every day is how you build up your account. Absolutely, absolutely.
Right. And here's the thing, man. I think the most important thing for me is respecting the profits that you had. For example, yesterday I made a trade at around 10 o'clock, and I went to grab some coffee at Starbucks. As I'm driving down the road, here's the fucked up thing. I was up $60. I said, oh, okay, yeah, I'm all in a good mood and stuff like that. And next thing I was up 100, then 200, then got my coffee. I was up 300. I'm looking at the profit, but I can't see a chart, and that's a problem for me. You know, I'm trading blindly. I'm just looking at profit levels. You ever try to trade on the road?
No, I don't. Not trading while driving. Fuck no, dude. Trading while driving. Fuck that shit.
Has anybody ever tried to trade and drive at the same time? Man. You know, you watching your profits go up? Well, I did that yesterday. And so as I'm driving back to work, the profits went from $325 back to $87. So I didn't respect the profits that I had, and I should have taken it when that first thought came in my mind. So really, man, the secret for me is getting your emotions in check, respecting the profits that you do have, and don't. I mean, just respect the profits, man. I mean, but I can't really give you the magic key, man. You know what I'm saying? Because next thing you know, I give you the indicator, and that's just one more fucking piece of shit you put on your chart.
Yeah. No, I understand. No, I understand. You know, it's just for everybody else who might be, you know, could be you, you know, a year ago, 2 years ago, something that maybe they need to hear or something like that. But I understand. I mean, if you find something that's
Well,
working, you know, you don't want it out there like that, and that's okay.
well, no, it's not that I don't want it out there, man. It's like, you know, I was talking to a guy yesterday because he had an indicator in his chart, and I wanted to know, you know, I wanted him to teach me what it was. And so we set up, what do you call it, this thing here that you got up, and I had the exact same time frame, the exact same indicator, but the candlesticks look different. So his chart settings are different than mine. So in order for me to tell you a secret, our charts have to be exactly the same, because if our charts aren't the same, we're not seeing the same thing. I can tell you to use the RSI, but your RSI might be a different color than mine. It might be a different setting than mine. So I can't tell you, you know, what it is that I'm doing, but I think my level of patience is, my losses help me to make me better. I mean, that's really the key, man.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really no secret to it. It's just my losses made me better, and that's really just the secret for me. I mean, not the secret, the answer for me. I'm not doing anything any different than I was when I met you a year ago, except I'm taking profits. So taking profits is key for me. And you guys, and you know, out there, you may have a hard time taking profits, man. You know, take it. If it's $40 on the table, start taking it, because you know what? When you start to get that $100 or $200, you're going to leave that shit on the table, and next thing you know, just like you said, Sal, you're down $900 because you didn't respect the $200 that you got.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, anyway. You know, and it's so funny because, you know, when I used to talk about this pay trading strategy that I tried, where we talked about just getting a couple $100 every day and how that adds up, like, you know, some people were laughing at me, but then, you know, when you actually start doing it and you seeing what it's doing to your account, when you do just take, you know, bits and pieces every single day, but making sure you get green, it really adds up at the end of the month when you look back and you're like, damn, okay, this is really something I can work with to continue to build. Absolutely.
Right.
So
and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm taking away exactly what you said. Taking the small profits, and it adds up instead of waiting for that $1,600, that $2,000 gain. And you guys, let me tell you something. I've been trading for a year and some change, and I had one $5,000 payout, and I had a $4,000 payout. Other than that, they all been under, you know, $1,500. So, you know, those small ones add up, man. So don't sit there and bypass the small ones. So that's really all I got to say about that, man. But yeah, man, thank you, Sal, for all getting us together, man. You may feel like, you know, I think you've done a lot, man, to really bring us together, and really, if you really want to know the secret, man, the secret is trying to partner up with somebody in the Discord that you can relate with and understand. Yeah. Because I work with a few guys, and we're on the same page when it comes to trading. Me and you have a different trading style than I. I may like larger stocks. You may like, you know, penny stocks. And so we may not connect very well. Yeah. So I'm not doing this by myself, man. I'm learning from you guys, and then taking those tools and kind of develop my own. I mean, and you know, it's just, you know, I just develop my own strategy. I mean, it's like going to barber school, man, and they'll teach you how to cut hair, but you will develop your own style. So there's no secret to this, man. So anyways, I ain't gonna hold up the show, man, but thank you, Sal. I really appreciate it, man. I'm glad you got your shirt on, bro.
Yes, I do.
Like, what kind of channel are you watching? I said, this is Sal, baby. Oh, no. What was it? She thought it was like a gay man show or something like that. Anyways. All right, guys. Hey, thank you, man. I'll talk to you later, bro.
Yes, indeed, man. Appreciate it, Mr. Lloyd. Appreciate it, Mr. Lloyd. Thank you for the call, man. I mean, what can I say, man? What can I say? Mr. Lloyd's been with us pretty much since the beginning. Shout out to Connor, because every time we talk about options on this show, I got to go back to talking to Connor, man. Connor was the guy who called up and, you know, just got us all excited about options to begin with. And it all really starts out with him. He's still in the Discord room, so he's got his own Discord. I think it's called the Stock Trap. So he really got us started with all that. So I thank him for everything because I've made some good money trading options, and it's all because of him. 646, you're on the air. What's up?
Good evening, Ken from New York. I'm so angry at myself tonight. I said to you yesterday, the OMVS today was news day running merger or none. And, you know, what Lloyd said, take some profits. Don't be greedy. I got greedy. And, you know, my profits vanished in thin air today.
It's so funny because I saw it happen today. I had an alert on it because of what you had said, and it sold off today. Now, what really caused the sell-off? Was it just the fact that people wanted to sell into that news?
No, because Steve Ranks, the CEO, said that 99.8%, he's tweeting for weeks, 99.7% certain the merger is going to happen by the 10th. So the news comes out, oh, there's a slight delay, the auditors required a couple more pieces of paper, so I'm going to give myself until August 31st for this to happen. And I think it's going to happen next week, to be honest with you, but you know, that's not... You know, it's the typical penny stock crap.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, but you know, this could end up, you know, bouncing back tomorrow. We've seen that happen a couple times where people who've been sitting on the sidelines and didn't want to buy too high, now you have an opportunity to buy in. So we'll see what happens with it tomorrow. Obviously, though, a 23%, you know, drop does kind of hurt for the stock.
The good thing was that you know, when it opened at 16, it was 26 yesterday. I know when these penny stocks crash like that, they always have a bounce intraday. Yeah. So I did sell at 21 cents today. So I made a profit. What do I care? But you know, at least I learned from experience with this stuff. Yeah. You do get a bounce. Yeah. So we'll see. You know, whatever. The other one, AMFE, it actually closed down a couple cents today.
Yeah, AMFE sold off a little bit today. I think that was, again, just another, you know, instance of its profit taking. It has a very long wick towards the end there, so you do still have some people who are interested in riding it higher. So it's going to be interesting to see what this develops into.
Yeah, it definitely should be. Well, that's it. Hey, I will keep listening. Take care.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, Ken.
Bye. Thanks.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to Ken from New York. Kind of beating himself up there on OMVS. I know he was enjoying the ride. I understand it, bro. You're seeing the money go up, go up, go up. It's hard to pull the trigger on that shit, man, because you don't want to look back on it and say you sold, you know, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days too early. I get it, 100%. 100%. Stock Junkie, yeah. His YouTube is Stock Junkie. Does he still update his YouTube? I know he was having an issue with that because he didn't really have time. You know, Connor's parents own a business, and he's like, I don't know if he's like a manager or he's like, you know, kind of running the show there. So he's really busy with that. 251, you're on the air. What's up?
What's going on, Sam?
Hey, Anthony, what's good with you, bro?
Nothing much, man. Hey, I got a question, man.
Go ahead.
On the ZNNC, the one you in. I don't see too much buying going on.
Man,
I see a lot of volume, you know, for a selling, but I don't see a lot of, you know, volume coming into the stock.
Well, here's the thing, man. It was a lot of buying when I was pushing it. Now that I'm off of it, you know, it's moved on to highrisingstocks.com. I don't even really, you know, I don't know anything about that guy. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if they're pushing it, how they're pushing it, or what they're going to be doing. But I can tell you that, you know, it's not done yet. But I don't like what I'm seeing so far with today's action. I mean, down 8%, which, you know, in penny stock lingo, I guess is not too bad. But again, I'm off this shit, so that's all that matters to me. I feel like I did my part. But I'd love to see a little bit more volume and more buying into it. But as soon as I start shitting on it, that's when, you know, it'll start taking off. But we'll see.
Hey, the other one is another one I'm looking at. It's a lithium play, and it's volume coming into that one. I'm trying to think of the ticker symbol on it, but if not, I just had to tweet it to you tomorrow. because I didn't go into work today. So normally I'm sitting at work at my desk looking at stocks, putting in.
Lithium. The only lithium I know on OTCs is LITH off the top of my head, and no, that obviously isn't it.
No,
Although it's done some things interesting. It's done some things here in the month of June, but I don't see anything recently anyway.
No, this one here is a little bit. It's a smaller company, and it's the move about 10 cents already.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the last time I looked yesterday, it was like 60-something cents. So it moved from like 50 cents to 60-something cents.
Oh yeah, I don't know what stock you're talking about that.
Yeah, when I get in tomorrow, I just tweet it to you and look at it. I think that's a pretty good play because it's been doing pretty good.
Okay, yeah, let me know because off the top of my head, I wouldn't know of any lithium play in that high. You know, what I mean that high. So that's obviously something with a pretty low float. So I'd love to know what's going on there. Let me know.
Yeah, or somebody in the chat room if they know, tell them to post.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, tell everybody to hit that like button.
Yes, indeed, man. Hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Hey, Anthony, are you still in NAK at all? Are you still interested in that? Or I mean, because I thought that would start doing something now with where we're having this gold talk, but I'm not seeing any movement right now.
Hey, Sam, look, I'm waiting for that shit to pull back to $1.20.
Okay.
So I can buy some more shares. So, and like I said, I got shares in Robinhood and I got shares in TD Ameritrade.
Yeah.
So I'm just stacking the deck.
Got it. Okay.
So I'm still, I told you I'm in that one for a long play.
Yeah. All right. We'll see what happens, man.
All right, man. Take it easy. Peace.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Shout out to Anthony for the call. Yeah, man. ZNNC, man. Fuck that shit, man. That was kind of it's such a low float play too. Such a low float play. Only $100,000 brought it from 3 cents to 17 cents. And we just couldn't crack any higher, man. Then I think 165,000. So unless we get a huge whale or some shit like that, or maybe just somebody with a huge fucking list of buyers, it is what it is. Yeah, practically all the tech stocks dropped today. A family friend just got out of A today. He called me up, said he was out of A, taking his profits. I don't blame him. A is another Agillion Technologies, another play, kind of like STM. It was very quiet, doing its thing, very profitable since the beginning of the year. If you had a lot of money or knew somebody with a lot of money who could buy a really large position, this was a solid winner, solid buy and hold winner over the last several months. This is a good time to take some profits here as it tested resistance or support rather and broke through it. People started taking profits. Yeah. You said the connection's breaking up. I know my bandwidth was having issues. That's why I wasn't on yesterday. So so far it looks like it's holding, but I know it's having issues here and there. I don't know why you're saying connection breaking up in the chat room though. I'm not sure what that's about. IMPR. I'm not seeing an IMPR, Jerry. PMTS. PMTS, Consumer Credit Card Services. Man, this stock is selling off like a motherfucker, dude. Yeah, man, this kind of looks like Blue Apron. That's how bad it looks. I mean, literally from the get-go, it starts selling off. Look at that. Consumer Credit Card Services. Let me know what they do. CPI card. What do they do? Yeah, it looks like Blue Apron. APRN. Yeah, it kind of looks like Blue Apron. If you guys remember Blue Apron, a company that sells ready-to-make meals Great business idea, and supposedly the food is actually pretty good. But the problem with them is that they spend too much to get a customer, and that's their huge problem. The stock was up yesterday, sold off today, practically lost all its gains from the day before. All right. Blue Apron opened up to some excitement, and then just never was able to hold it. I mean, this stock just came online back in July. So they always advertise on investors' podcasts. Yeah, I mean, you would think that they would be doing well because people actually like their food, but they're garbage. You said they have the same commercial on like 100 shows in a row. Shit, that's horrible. Yeah. Look at the 2019 puts on Blue Apron. You know, I'm watching them move. I mean, you can see. Man, it's been a minute since I looked it up. The $1, $2 puts, they're at, you know, you have people loading up on the puts on Blue Apron because they might not make it very, very, you know, much longer. They may not make it much longer. We'll see. Yeah, BTCS is another one. BTCS rising up on Bitcoin movement. Those of you guys who've been living under a rock. Bitcoin crashed through, I should say rather, $3,000 per Bitcoin. BTCS running because of that. Another play that I think started selling off aggressively today. BITCF? Yeah, BITCF. I mean, this has just been a monster. You know, OTC Bitcoin stock. This stock has been a monster, man. I think you're kind of hot now, 87 on the RSI, but the last couple of days, you know, it's just been incredible. I mean, tore through at the beginning. I thought this was a stock that my promo might be able to beat, but it's left us in the dust. 4 days of incredible gains. Incredible gains. 541, you're on the air. What's up?
What's going on, Sal? This is Ryan Gets It right here.
Hey, Ryan, what's up with you, bro?
Ain't too much, man. Trying to make that money last few, my brothers.
Yes, indeed.
I got into, I've been into AZFL.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for that to do something tomorrow. Maybe it'll get into the billions, like the billion soon. But I'm gonna get out of that. I got a certain price to get out on that.
Okay.
USEI did pretty good today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. USEI was again one of my plays that I've told people about. You know, you want to load up at those low single digits. So
yeah,
you even see that
yeah, man, I'm in the green.
0002, 0003, 0004. I mean, load up there and just kind of wait it out. And that was a nice move by that stock today. So,
yes, sir.
You know,
I was in there heavy too, man. I'm in there heavy too.
Yeah, nice move there.
Let's see. I'm in heavy in FREEF.
Yeah, free F. Okay.
Like Drive. Yeah, which is like Drive, shipping cargo company.
Mm-hmm.
Better play than Drive for me, because Drive makes you catch headaches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Other than that, man, trying to see. I'm still heavy in AWGI.
Okay.
I sold my original shares back, like a month or two back.
Yeah.
And I got back in heavy like 2 weeks ago. On my list right now, I have TXTM.
Mm-hmm.
You guys talked about BTCS already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still in Plug. Plug is still pretty heavy for me.
Mm-hmm.
And my long, like my $1 million play for me is looking at GAWK. I've been looking at that.
Yeah, I'm in
That's
that.
my lottery pick right there.
Yeah, that's my lottery pick too. I'm actually in GAWK pretty heavy too.
Yeah, man, that's my lottery pick
I
right
got
there.
a couple million shares in that one. That's an interesting play because
Yeah.
it's actually producing. It's a revenue producing OTC company that's actually like doing some shit out here. So it's pretty quiet.
Right.
And that's why I'm in it because it ain't did shit, and you know they are
Yo,
putting
that's
out
what I say,
new products. So we'll see if people actually start jumping on it or if they actually decide to run a promo one day.
Definitely. But yeah, man, that's about it for me. That's about it for me, boss man. Just I'm looking for AZFL. I'm gonna hold that until October
Okay.
because I googled the company, man, and I didn't, put it to you like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna hold that until October. And just hope somebody pumps some gas into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We'll see, man. If they run a promo, I mean, we look. We've seen them before. You know, 0005 to 0080 to 2 cents to 3 cents. I mean, we've seen them before.
Yeah.
That's why we play the pennies because we understand
Yeah.
that $100, $150 can turn into something. So we'll see.
I sold my ERBB. I was in there pretty heavy. I held that for like 3-4 months, man.
Yeah.
And that's about it for me, Sal, man. Other than that, man, welcome back to the show, man. And shit, glad to see you back on.
There it is, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for calling, bro.
Yeah, man. All right, love.
Yes, indeed. So shout out to Ryan Gitz and shout out to all my callers so far. I appreciate all of you. What's going on, Bad Scientist? Africa Emporium with ZNXS. Yeah, this is another. Yeah, that's another nice one. Damn, could have got that at the 0002 level too. CNXS, nice one. 0005. Nice volume. So somebody's loading up there quietly. Yeah, and that's kind of what you do with those things. You know what I mean? $50, $150 if you got it on the side. You know, you never know what those could do over the course of some time. Andres, yeah. Well, they're coming, Andres. Just you know. They don't really have no job, so they wake up around this time. You said you hate shipping. So what happened to my other channel? I still have my, American Investors or whatever. The other one got shut down though. RCHA will run again, possibly. I mean, these OTC stocks go in cycles, man. When they're flat, the owners need some money. They hire promos and guys to talk about it, and next thing you know, it goes up. So it goes in cycles. I think you just got to get them where they ain't doing shit. What's going on, Stephen Baker? Cali girl. Let's see here. GAHC. Now, GAHC, I think reverse split, right? Or no. Or maybe it didn't reverse split. Maybe it didn't reverse split. I thought GAHC probably did, but it may be one of those stocks that, again, that we talk about here. We went from the triples to something because I remember GHC being in the triples, but maybe it's just one of those ones that ran. Decent looking daily average volume in the stock too, almost 7.5 million shares as the average, and this is a 2-cent stock, so decent volume coming in and out of GAHC. Not bad. 14 million shares traded today though. 7 million is that average. Not bad. FLSR, I'm not sure what that stock is. Let's take a look at Flasser. Yeah, you might want to check the float on that one. 2.4 million. 2.4 million average, 5 million today. That 5 million didn't even put a dent in any of the gains. You had, twice as much volume traded and not even a dent of gains for the stock at all. Not at all. On FLSR. GLLK. Let's take a look at it. Gold Lakes. Okay, so Gold Lakes, I've seen Gold Lakes do a little things, but that's another one where it's just got too much shares out there. Way too much dilution. I think they need to cancel some shares, reverse split, but there's just too much out there. DTII, one that I saw somebody in the chat room brought up 2 days in a row. This is a defense technologies company, or actually named Defense Technologies. 2 days in a row now with this madness. People are playing to that military sentiment, although I think the last time this company won a contract was some time ago. They don't actually ever win a contract. They always are ones that put out news that they submitted something for a contract, but they never actually win. They never actually win. PLUG, Plug Power. Plug Power used to have some real spikeability back in the day, man. And when I say back in the day, I mean just like a couple of weeks ago or months ago. Yeah, if you go back to what Plug did back in like April, late March, I remember we used to talk about Plug almost every day on this show at the beginning of summer. Some of you guys may remember that. Now Plug, I mean, it's become a joke over the last month and a half. GSDC too is pretty. That's a gold play. Up 18% today. I would actually watch that if this continues to go pretty. If we actually end up in a war, I would really take a look at GSDC, just because if we actually end up in a war situation, the catalyst is there for a big move in that stock. Africa Emporium with his tickers. You might want to copy and paste that and take a look at those if you like them. LGBI, Cannabis Mobile. All right, Cannabis Play. 0004. Yeah, Plug is looking kind of nice. It's beat up like that. Just make sure it's at the levels you like. But we've talked about how, this time with what's going on, you really want to be in some of these stocks that are really beat up. Let me see here. With the market turning around, a lot of stocks that were benefiting off the fact that all of the sectors were hot really took a beating today. One of them, QTM. QTM just, they reported a Q1 loss. And this is a stock that had been doing really good based on, again, the idea the sector was hot. So QTM, a stock that wasn't, fundamentally the most sound company, they were winning. Anyway, the stock had went from a low 296 to, what is that, a high of $9.13. So you got almost $7 from May. All right. In almost a year, you up, over 100% in the stock. And you don't even really have to go that far. You can find $3 worth of value from, what day was that alone? From June 23rd, you were up almost $3 and then collapsing. Just collapsing with today's move back down to 5 something. But here's the thing. Look at where that RSI is, man. That RSI is at 12 with today's move on QTM. So I would be paying very close attention to QTM tomorrow. Average volume is only 200,000 shares. But here's the thing. You had 1.8 million shares bought and dumped into this stock today. I think you got a huge potential bounce catalyst in QTM with this oversold sentiment. So I wanted to put QTM in front of you guys today who play these kind of things, because it can continue to sell, or you could have a nice little rebound in that stock tomorrow. Obviously, read how bad that Q1 loss was. You know, but I think you got to take a look at it and see what could happen. Yeah, Snap with the horrible. It's so funny, man. I actually own some 2019 Snap options. Snap just, you know, horrible, horrible, horrible. They're just continuing to hemorrhage cash. And I'm telling you right now, that's probably going to be an acquisition for somebody in not too long. I think Snap is going to end up selling itself to save itself. I don't know if they're going to end up getting below 5. I do have some 2019 put options in Snap, because I think you got to go that far, you know, to really maximize, you know, your gains in this situation, because we know this is a stock that's going down in single digits if they let it go that far. But I have a feeling this might get snatched up. We thought that's going to happen to Twitter, but it didn't happen to Twitter. I thought Twitter would be gone by now too. I thought Twitter would be gone by now, but Twitter, another stock that sold off today, you know, oversold on Twitter. Oversold on Twitter. We're basically sitting at support, as you can see here from the chart. All right, but obviously not the cheapest stock in the world. Not the cheapest stock in the world. $15.75 a share on Twitter, but is sitting at that low RSI 28. So I think, you know, if you got the cash and you can get in nice, I don't believe the options are liquid on Twitter, but nice oversold scenario there on Twitter. Yeah, Disney, Netflix. I think people are overreacting with that Netflix move. I think people are overreacting on that Netflix move. But here's the thing, though. Netflix is in a shitload of debt right now. I didn't think that Netflix was carrying that much debt. But they are in they have a lot of debt. Now, don't get it twisted. Netflix makes billions of dollars in revenue, but their debt situation is something to be very careful of. I was reading some articles on that, and it's not getting any better. But the problem is that, you know, with their international expansion and whatnot, their revenues are far exceeding their ability to continue to pay on it. So they're doing really well being able to pay on it. Maybe that's just how things are just going to end up scaling out for Netflix, but they got a heavy debt load. Say they should have sold to Facebook. Well, Facebook owns Instagram now. So what they ended up doing is that they just copied Snap Stories. So Facebook now has the Snap Stories, which, by the way, plays a lot better on Instagram than it does on Facebook. Like, I see my friends on Facebook, they put the Facebook stories. I don't even bother looking at that shit. It just seems out of the way, and it just, you know, it just seems to not have the same kind of value, because Facebook is more, I think people are a little bit more careful on what they put on Facebook. So it's very PG when you go on Facebook stories, whereas on Instagram, people are a little bit more loose and could care less, because, you know, you're using a lot of times not even your real name or some shit like that. So, but Snap is still the place for underage teens to go show their tits and shit like that. So will that customer base grow into the platform, or are they going to jump off and move to something else? But here's the thing: as investors, we don't have time to figure that out. We don't have time with them to figure out how to make money off, you know, 12 and 13-year-olds who want to show their tits. You know what I'm saying? LGBS. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. Oh, come on, man. Let's take a look at LGBS. Legal Business Group. Yeah, never heard of this one, man. Looks like this looks like a classic Horrible pump and dump pattern here. Yeah, I mean, when I go on Snap, dude, that's all you're seeing, man. You know, put in your average small Midwestern town into Snap. Not one of these big cities. Put in, like, you know, some small average town in the middle of nowhere. You see a whole bunch of these girls, like, showing their tits and shit like that. SING. And they're all just trying to show off to each other. Just a bunch of little kids in the local schools trying to show off and shit. You can't invest in that. SING. Sing's done its thing in the past. It's done its thing in the past. Not bad. Not bad. I don't really have anything to say on it, though. I don't know too much about it. It's, you know, it's doing really well, though. It's doing really well. 4 cents a share. It could be one of those things that can do pretty good. That volume is pretty heavy too, man. 25 million, 30 million shares traded, or 4 cents a share. That's a lot of volume. That's a lot of volume, man. You might want to look into what's moving that. I see they're putting out news, but that's a lot of volume. Yeah, you might want to see what's moving that one, man. All right, taking a look at what else dumped today. BW, huge move. Babcock and Wilcox Enterprises. Let me see here. What happened to that? Agrees to buy back private equity stake. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to that. I mean, the stock lost over $7 worth of value here. You might want to do some research on this. This is a Charlotte, North Carolina-based company. Interestingly enough, Babcock and Wilcox. Yeah, never heard anything about it, but I'm looking at that 72% loss. Average volume only 436,000 shares, but 15 million shares evaporating today on Babcock. All right, down the tubes. You know, now grossly oversold. I don't think I've ever seen a stock this low on the RSI. That is at a 5. 5 on the RSI. I don't think I've ever seen 5 on the RSI. I don't think I've ever seen that low. If anybody has, let me know, because I have never seen a 5. I mean, I've seen 18, I've seen 12, but 5, man, that's almost like you got to get in there. 5 on the RSI, you got to get in there. I wish it was a little cheaper. So if it was like a 30-cent stock, if it was like a 30-cent stock, I'd throw some money at it. But at $2.70 a share, a decent return I would have to put some money in it. But at the same time, man, 5 on the RSI, that's almost, you know, guaranteed money. 11 down days for AMD. Yeah, because if you were watching my option videos, I told you that AMD was running simply on earnings and what was going on in the Bitcoin space. We only wanted $15 for AMD. That's what everybody wanted. That's what everybody was talking about. The stock's going to get 15 and everybody was going to dump, and that's exactly what happened. Everybody bought the option for 15 because we knew it would come in the money, and as soon as it got in the money, everybody dumped, and that's exactly what happened with AMD. So AMD now, you're at support, that 1217. I already have it marked because I'm going to be buying some options if it holds tomorrow. If it holds 12 tomorrow, I'm going to go back in for the 13. For the 13, if it holds, but we could end up, you know, going lower. We could break that support and go much lower. So I'm watching AMD very, very closely. It said -3 RSI. Shit. Yeah, that's low. But yeah, I like AMD right now for that 13. But at at the same time, with the Korea situation, we'll see. PPP Gold Stock. This is another company reporting a 2Q loss. $1.39 of earnings. Non-recurring costs were almost 2 cents per share. The company pronounced revenue of 16.2 million. This is actually wouldn't be too bad, man. Triple P. Where are we at? 17 on that one. I actually like the fact that you got the commodity running, right? You got the commodity running. You've got international turmoil. You got this dumping. I like this play. I would, at 20 cents a share, I would take a risk on this one. I think if you come in this situation, where are you at? How long have you been under $1? Okay, I've actually been watching this. All right, so what was the last time I took a look at this? Okay, it was a while ago. All right, so you've been under $1 since November. Okay, so you're at delisting risk here. Hold on. And I don't see any alerts from NASDAQ about delisting risk. Okay, you might want to look a little bit deeper into that, because they must be getting they must have some kind of plan established. You might also want to take a look and seeing if a reverse split risk is here, which is very likely. I'm seeing the stock has been down since November under $1. So that's very likely. You might want to take a look at that. But I like the setup here, just because what the commodity is going through. QSIM. I'm actually going to write that one down. QSIM, OTC play, semiconductor play. All right, so this is the QSIM, though. It's not a pure semiconductor play. If you remember, we talked about this play. This is a company that what you do is, like, if you're a manufacturer in America and you want to have something processed for you or built for you, you go through quantum sphere and they will contract it out. So quantum sphere is like there's a word for it in the industrial space, but they don't actually produce it. It's like they farm it out, and they're just kind of responsible for putting it all together, the plans all together, but not necessarily doing the work. So it's not a true semiconductor play. And you're going to also have to take a look at how legitimate their operations are too, because it's been a while since I've taken a look at that. So you're buying 200 shares of BM tomorrow? Nope, not that one. BM, what's BM? I'm not seeing a US BM, bro. I wasn't familiar with that ticker when you told about it, so let me know what's BM. Yeah. Triples will always require you almost to hold it for several days or weeks at a time. That's really the only way to be fairly accurate. That's why, USEI or some of the other plays we talk about, it does require you to have, several, weeks or even months holding them. Yeah, shout out to crypto. They've been doing a good job. Let me see another beat up stock we can talk about. You guys could probably watch over the next week and tomorrow especially. Goldfield GV. This was, I believe, another earnings loser. Goldfield Another earnings loser. So that's two of them. Goldfield loses $1 today, down almost 20%. Low, but not too low. Volume a little bit over 3 times its usual trading, but didn't crack 1 million, only 500,000 shares. So definitely could use a lot better volume. But as I said, I you know, that PPP, you know, 11.2 million above its only 200,000 shares traded on average. 11 million shares today. That's insane. That's insane. I think you can get a nickel out of here, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm going to be very interested in this tomorrow. I think if those of you guys with Robinhood and all that, I think, you know, New York Stock Exchange as well, I think you got to look at this tomorrow and see what happens. Just to see what happens. What other ones we had? I see some Aqua Metal as well. TVIA coming to OTC tomorrow. TVIA coming to OTC tomorrow. Yeah, it was a NASDAQ play coming to trade over the counter. It is what it is. I mean, you know, they are pursuing bankruptcy, so we understand that if it gains that Q, you know, it grabs a new group of investors who just love the Qs, and that next thing you know, you'll start seeing it run 60-70% because that's just people in the Qs. They love them. They love them. CYAN NASDAQ play up 28% today. I'm guessing it hit something, right? Must have hit something. CYAN. Don't see the news kind of reports financial results for first quarter. Okay, so they did something good on the financial end. Somebody must have liked that bottom line today. Volume was weak, though. I mean, the average volume was only 5,000 shares. 187,000 traded today, but no real movement today in that one. I mean, there's no money in that. GNMX. Yeah, again, another one, low volume, 500,000 shares. Traded today, average 132. Yeah, I like these plays, guys, but they're very low volume. Very, very low volume. You know, you're going to have to sit there and wait till your money gets, till your orders get hit, and I don't like that. Because a lot of times you're missing the money when you do it that way. Stock Z, you said you actually bought some TVIA today? Yeah, I mean, if they get delisted, well, it looks like they are going to get delisted. And, you know, if they in fact do get that Q attached to their name, you know, it's at 2 cents a share. How far low can it go? You know, you're going to have to do your own research on that. But we've seen how stocks with the Qs can still run. So maybe it could be one of those stocks that people find worthwhile in bankruptcy to buy. AMRS up 10%. Yeah, ERBB is a nice bounce play for somebody today. Let's look at VNTH. Nanomobile Healthcare. This kind of reminds me of that business Go Doctors. You guys remember it? I think it used to be G Now or something like that. Yeah, they changed their name. American Care Source. This is a company out of Atlanta, Georgia that owns like 12. I think they own 12 ready healthcare centers. You know, for poor people who can't afford to go to the doctor, they can go to these little emergency care places. It's actually a solid business, but their stock just doesn't get any movement at all. They tried to go on the Red Chip Money Report. For those of you guys who follow OTCs, you might want to subscribe to that channel on YouTube. It's called the Red Chip Money Report, and they're a nationally syndicated, you know, pump and dump TV show. And they try to go on the Red Chip Money Report, and for a couple of days they did some things, but other than that, you know, I think this is actually their appearance on the Red Chip Money Report. but it couldn't hold. But most stocks are like that. They go on the red chip money report, and they're because the show runs, I want to say Sunday mornings, and then that's pretty much it. BONT, Bonton stores, retail, NASDAQ. Let's look at another weekly on this one. So the weekly looks a lot better than the daily chart, I'll tell you that much. So retail, I'm not a fan of retail. I've been reading so many things about retail, still at the beginning of its collapse. So we'll see what happens with that. 919, Bad Scientist, what's up?
Hey, Sal, how's it going?
Doing good. How are you?
Very good. Yeah, you guys are making some very nice stock picks. It's always nice to see, I'm checking off my list, and pretty much everything I've got on my list, you guys have mentioned in some form or shape. So that's good.
Good.
The two that you mentioned, I'm sure, or one of them, the Bitcoin ones, BTSE and BITCF, those are looking really good. AZFL that Ryan Gets It was talking about, I actually did a swing trade of this one yesterday into today. I could have waited for tomorrow because it's looking really strong on the daily chart. I made my 20% and got out because I just decided I'm not trying to, swing for the fences or home runs. I'm just going for singles. So that one looks really, really good. I'm having a lot of success with this cloud that I'm implementing, the Ichimoku cloud.
Yeah.
Looking really, really good for some of these OTCs. The QSIM that you covered a few minutes back, that's looking really good on the daily chart. It's a bullish tweezer bottom, and it has a lot of strong volume behind it. That's always something that I'm looking at day to day. So with the bullish tweezer bottom, you see the red on the daily chart, the red candle followed by today's green candle, both of them the same size at the bottom of the chart, or kind of a low RSI, red to green candle. Today's volume spike really impressive. We had 148 million on this one on a green day. We just need to see it breach a few levels. I think one key resistance going into tomorrow is 0014, and this is on the cloud. It's a very important resistance. So if it just goes up a shade higher, essentially part of the cloud, which is close to a 9-day moving average, is around that 0014 mark, as well as the slower moving average, which is the 26-day. You have them right now on the daily chart at the same price at 0014. So essentially all this one needs to do is close higher or move higher than today's close of 0011. That's looking extremely good with the huge volume behind it. There's one you mentioned, I think, a couple of days ago that just keeps on going up, and that's SIGO. You mentioned it.
Man. This is that Sunset Island Group. This is again, these OTCs, man. You can never, you just don't know, dude. You just don't know how far people are willing to love him, and this is a situation where whoever the promoter is, he killed it, man. This is just whatever they're doing. I don't know if it's mailers. I don't know if it's a phone bank, phone room. I don't know what it is, but they've got people to buy, and they've been buying this like crazy. Now, we all know it's going to come falling down, but at the end of the day, somebody is buying this up, and it's insane. It's insane.
It's looking good. I mean, if you look all the way back to about March, round about March, this thing was at $3 or just above $3. So right now it's at 90 cents. potentially it could do that parabolic run where every day it's putting in gains. So I'm not writing this one off because it just seems to be going up, establishing higher lows and higher highs every day to potentially as high as, $3. And the last one I have is TONR. TONR. Once again, this one's looking really good. It just needs to cross over. Essentially, where it closed today was the junction between the 9-day kind of moving average and the 26 moving average on the Ichimoku cloud. It just needs to pass through today's price. What did it hit on the high today? 0007.
Yeah.
So if it can cross that, it looks like we have a green cloud going into tomorrow, and more than that, it's a thin green cloud, which means it doesn't have too much resistance to it on the upside, and I can see this one easily going up to 0014. So this one could double within, the next few days based on what I see on my chart right here. And yeah, that's about it. There's one more that I have, EXAD. EXAD.
Okay.
And once again, this one had a decent volume spike. Would love to see even more volume because I believe on the 24th of July it went as high as 118 million. Today it went up to about 43 million in volume. Once again, this one, it breached a lot of the cloud resistance levels. It's right under the bottom of the green cloud. I'd like to see it breach the top of the green cloud at 0035, but it's looking extremely bullish. A lot of these have something in common in that not only are they looking good on the 5-minute, breaching VWAP and going above VWAP for the end of the day, but in addition to that, like I said, the volume spike is very impressive. So that's kind of like a confirmation for it's looking good on the daily chart. It's looking good on the 5-minute on the VWAP, and it's closing with little or no shadows above the candlestick, and that's also something that I look at towards the end of the day. If it closes with no candle, with no shadow or wick or hairline above it, that's also a strong finish. So yeah, it's like I said, a lot of what I've been watching, you guys have already talked about. So that just confirms, my watch list going into tomorrow. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Everything's looking good. For people following OTCs, I will always constantly give the advice, don't go for home runs or swinging for the fences. Put in 20% every day. You can double your money in 3 or 4 trades. If you can just put back-to-back trades, you can essentially double your money in 3 to 4 trades. So sometimes it's not, it's not wise trying to always swing for the home run. Go for the 20-30% on the OTC stocks, and you'll find your account growing. And that's all I have for you guys. Appreciate it, Sal.
There it is. And Bad Scientist, before you get off the line, man, I noticed you've taken almost a renewed interest in OTCs. What's got you excited about these kind of stocks again?
Oh, good point. Remember, I used to trade on Wells Fargo, and Wells Fargo wouldn't allow me to trade OTC stocks. So a couple of months ago, I opened a TD Ameritrade account.
Okay. And
that's what's facilitated me to be trading OTC stocks. But yeah, you notice that. That's actually good that you noticed that. I just couldn't trade them earlier, and that's why I stayed away from them. I would resort to trading, very cheap NASDAQ stocks below like $1. That's the closest I could get to OTCs. But now that, the floodgates have opened and I can trade on TD Ameritrade, I'm now like the rest of you looking at double zeros, triple zeros, quadruple zeros. So it's actually very exciting. And I mean, you always talk about it in your intros, the potential you can make from this. Yeah. I've found, though, that with the OTC stocks, particularly if you're buying like AZFL, I bought 1 million shares that I made 20% on. It's often hard to fill certain levels, so you just need to be a little careful when you're coming in with an entry. Either go for pullbacks, because I think I went in at 0005 on AZFL, and I really wanted to get the 0007 that it was at today, but unfortunately that happened to be the ask for today's bid spread, and I couldn't get the 0007. I could only get the 0006. So for me to get the 0007, I would have to essentially wait for it to get to 0008, which is another resistance point that it has to reach going into tomorrow. Yeah. So that's just something that I've noticed that people need to look out for. If you are at 0005 and want to make, get out at 0006, which seems like just one step above that, the stock will actually have to be at 0008 for you to get out, or 0007 for you to get out at 0006. Yeah. So just be careful about that.
There it is, man. Thank you so much, Bats. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sal. Keep up the good work.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Bats, for the call. As always, just like Africa Emporium said, great build there. Bats Science is always giving us great little pointers, great little things to see here. And I just noticed that because Bats typically would call up about NASDAQ plays. They'd be cheap as hell, but they would typically be NASDAQ plays. And, it was just so interesting to see him get caught up into OTCs. And I'm telling you, it's addicting. It's very addicting. But, look, at all times, I've always told people to mix it up. And I'm sure he's doing that as well. So, good to see him get into that. 862, you're on the air. What's up?
Yeah, hi. How are you?
Doing good. Who am I speaking with?
My name is Jerry.
Hey, how can I help you?
I gotta turn your volume down. Yeah, I got a question. I entered a stock. I've been working on this gap fill reversal strategy.
Okay.
And it seems to be working out pretty well, but the one I got in today had a low volume in it, but it formed a doji right at the end of the day with the last 5 minutes to go, and it had closed the gap and went to an all-time low, and then the next day, which was today, it formed a doji. So I entered with 5 minutes left to go, and it spiked all the way up to $2.30. So
what's the ticker?
IPWR.
Ideal Power. Okay.
Did you find it?
Yeah. Okay, nice. All right, so low volume. Yeah, I see the low volume, but I do see that spike toward the end of the day. Did you end up finding out what caused that?
Well, I'm guessing it's. I know they had their earnings call today, but this happened well before the earnings call. So I'm guessing I've been following this gap fill reversals, this gap close reversal strategy, and I noticed that when this happens, it closes the gap and it forms a doji. It might be a day or 2 days later. I usually find that these things spike up anywhere between 50 to 20 some cents. So I hit this like right on the nail. I had perfect entry on it. But today, after their earnings call, they lost like $2.3 million, and it says their shares are down 23 cents a share. But it bounced back today. So my question is, what do you think that will have effect on tomorrow morning after pre-market?
Well, Oh man, I mean, reading the report right now, and yeah, that earnings was pretty bad. Let me see
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, because the RSI hit like 90 as the end of the day hit, and on my aftermarket hours, it says that it's at 216 now, but at aftermarket says it's still at 230. So I'm guessing it's gonna gap up tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple stocks like that where, you know, we looked at some the other day where even though they had a pretty horrible earnings announcement, they still gapped up and ran for the day anyway. For the day, so you might want to, you know, get out that day, because what we saw is that the very next day they would give it all back. So
Yeah, well, the one thing I've been really working on this strategy, and I find that a lot of these people on this gap close reversal strategy are making all their money in the aftermarket and the pre-market hours, and the spike usually only lasts between 3 to 9 minutes in the morning, and then it's on its way back down.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like that idea. That actually makes pretty good sense. You'd have to, you know, you definitely would have to be on the ball with trading pre-market, you know, in a strategy like that. I see here you're still below 50 on the daily chart anyway.
Right, yeah.
So, you know, you still have a solid entry to attract buyers tomorrow. So, yeah, if you're looking to get in, you know, get out anyway, pre-market, I think that'd probably be your best time to get in, because you will probably get your gap up, and then after that you could find your way, you know, going back south.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking as well. I was wondering, because the whole news that came out at like 5:30, and I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me! As this thing just gapped up quite a bit, you're gonna hit this bad news for tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Let me see. Where's all the volume coming in at? Yeah, it comes in typically early. So yeah, I would definitely, you know, you got in lucky, bro. You got in lucky. I'll tell you that much. And then, you know, in the morning, get the hell out of there.
I had one the day before, same exact thing, just no bad news. But it had like, I think it was like 60 or 70,000 for the volume for that one day, and the next day it formed the doji again after it closed the gap. And again, the next day it went up like, I think it was almost 22 cents. So I'm finding out that this strategy, gap close reversal strategy, is working out pretty well. And it doesn't run on news. All they do is set alerts for it.
Now, what brought it to your attention? Is there somebody on YouTube talking about it, or what brought this?
Yeah, I started seeing things about gap closing and gap closing reversals, and I just kind of been putting pieces together here and there about resistance, you know, finding the resistance levels when it does spike. And when it does close a gap, you set your alerts for where the gap closes, and when it hits that gap, I start following it, and it usually hits a low, either an all-time low, or it hits a low of where the stock was. And then when you see that doji form, either, you know, a dragonfly doji if it's going up, or if it's gapping the opposite direction, you're looking for a gravestone doji, and you can either short it or you can be bullish on it. And I mean, they usually are gapping up. They're like, with low volume one day, next day it's got like massive volume, and as soon as it hits that doji, it's gone.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'd like to know a little bit more about that. So cool, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for the call, dude.
All right, appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, that'd be a strategy. I mean, it's not something I would employ, but I would just want to know, you know, what goes into it and how exactly it makes money. And he explained it pretty well. I'd love to see it more in action. I bet. Yeah, I'm not seeing it because it's got low volume. It's got really low volume, and most of the move is coming, you know, in the AM. And being that it's got this catalyst that came out, you're gonna get most of your move in the AM. So he's gonna be going out of here pre-market or in the morning at the bell, and after that, this bad boy's coming right back down. Yeah, it's hardly got any movement. I mean, average. It was actually a down day for the stock, but still had buying momentum, even on a particularly low volume day. I see Africa Emporium's PMTS before we get up out of here. You know, PMTS I see after hours. Okay, we had a 20% day. All right. Okay, so no real movement after hours. It was just like the stock before, real beat up. This one was low on the RSI. You had a really great day today after, strong selling. You had the gap down, confirmation of the bearish, momentum. Doji kind of faked you out there when you still had some aggressive selling the very next day after the doji. But looks like a change of momentum could be happening with this solid, almost a Marubatsu, but not long enough. But again, solid candlestick there with no wick. So buyers are fully in control there. We'll see what we get in terms of a confirmation with tomorrow's move. Only $1.20 on this stock here. 900,000 shares traded. Actually a low day for the stock. Average is 1.28. Again, I don't know what they do, but the technical show this could be a nice little run for someone, maybe back to the 140s if you're patient enough. But again, you got to get the confirmation with tomorrow's energy. So we'll see what happens. RKDA. RKDA. Not bad, not bad. And by the way, the guy was mentioning a lot of candlesticks on the last call. If there are any new people in the house, you can go and download what's his name? Mr. Lloyd also mentioned Steve Neeson's chart candlestick course. There's a course called the Candlestick Course by Steve Neeson, and he literally holds you to learning candlesticks. And he's got a lot of videos on YouTube, but if you know how to use torrents, I would go and download that and really learn how to read candlesticks, because they're very, very, very useful to learning how to trade and doing technical analysis. If you're not one who's going to be looking into financials, then obviously you're probably one who's going to be looking into the technicals, and you need to learn how to read the candlesticks and the different shapes and different wicks and how long they are, what the lengths mean and whatnot. So you definitely want to learn how to read candlesticks. All right, so download his courses, buy his courses, whatever they are. But they are available on a lot of torrent sites like Pirate Bay and whatsoever. Yes, indeed. Information on how to make money on promotions. I'm familiar. You said how to make money on promotions? How you can make money? Are you want to do the promotion, or you want to make the promotion? I mean, if you want to make money on promotions, then when you find out a promotion is happening, the day it comes out, you buy it on the day it comes out. Especially if whoever's promoting it has a good list of buyers who like to buy stocks. Yes, indeed. What scanners do you use to find stocks? Finviz, yeah, Finviz. Well, Finviz, it all depends on your settings. I would get with Bat Scientist. He's got some great settings for Finviz in the Discord room. You can connect him with that, or even through his Twitter account, Bat Scientist. He's got great settings for Finviz to find good pennies that trade over NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. Otherwise, then you're probably going to be using, I've seen Stock God use Trade Ideas. I obviously I'm a little bit biased. I go with Equity Feed because they sponsor me. So Equity Feed is a great way to find tickers as well. But you can use a great scanner. I mean, there are a lot of scanners out there, a lot of free ones, the paid ones. You got to put something up front, but most of them are worth the money. Zero on Forex. look, man, that's the thing about Forex, bro. I have never. I would love to have somebody on the show who consistently makes money on Forex. You know, that's the thing about Forex is I've seen people who've made, you know, $30 here, $100 here, $200 here. But I mean, consistently kill on Forex, I've not met a guy yet. Not met a guy yet. The only methodology that I've seen where guys kill on Forex is if they had a ton of cash and they play exotics. And they play either pound exotic or dollar exotic. So they'll play pound versus some currency like in Asia or somewhere in Africa, or they'll play dollar versus that exotic currency in Asia or in Africa, or you know, somewhere in Latin America, you know, Bolivia or something like, you know what I'm saying? And those are pretty predictable because you kind of know where those are going to go. But I haven't met a guy who plays dollar pound consistently well over and over again. Dollar yen consistently over and over again. Those are hard fucking currency pairs to play. Those are hard, you know, to consistently make stupid gains out of. You know, but if you've got cash for the exotics, by all means, man, if you can go play that US dollar Venezuela right now, I mean, you're destroying it. You know, you're killing it, man. What is that US dollar Venezuela? What's the ticker for the Venezuela? I don't even know what their V is it? Hold on. Here's US dollar. What is this? Bolivar? US dollar Bolivar? I don't even know. I don't even know what their currency is. But like I'm talking about, the exotics. Let me find an exotic. Okay, yeah, South Africa. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is one that I've been following. This is kind of what I'm talking about here, where the South African currency, interestingly enough, the South African economy was getting a bit better. So the dollar was actually losing value to the South African rand, R-A-N-D. That's what it's called. So the dollar was losing value, and I was watching it here as it was losing value. Now it's broken out. It's broken out, and this could be sign, if it doesn't come back into my lines here, that the dollar could be headed higher against the rand. But I've been following this for some time. You know, Forex, as I said, it's a game where I don't honestly believe it's something you can like day trade. You know what I'm saying? Forex is more or less something you got to really kind of take like the long-term view, because I'm looking at the way banks play Forex, and they're playing it by the long term. I mean, they're talking about what is this currency going to do 6 months, 8 months, 12 months from now. We got guys who are talking about what is the currency going to do tomorrow, and I'm like, nah, man, that's just like noise. You know what I'm saying? You can't play that. You can't play that. You know? I don't know. That's my take on it, bro. That's my take on it. Because Troy says, what makes them so hard? Because it's too many things to follow. It's you know, we've talked about how, you know, you're a guy sitting in your living room and you're trading against banks that have 200, 300 people on staff, economists with PhDs, and you're not gonna beat them. You're not gonna beat them. They got the data ahead of you. They understand what the data means. You really don't. You know, you got data coming in out of nowhere sometimes. I've been in situations where I've been playing Forex and then something just hit, and all of a sudden, you know, I'm down. Just out of nowhere, some data came out from some department from the federal government. I didn't even know it was coming out. You know what I mean? And now you're on the other side of the trade. Like, what the hell just happened? Variables are crazy. Absolutely. But I'm getting my knowledge in terms of Forex, because there is a shitload of money to be made. There's a shitload of money to be made. But you've got to play the long ball. That is really the only way to win, is playing the long ball. I'm talking months at a time. And I've been following the U.S. dollar, South African rand, because I understand, these African economies and what goes on into the political, ideologies there, and what plays into those situations. But yeah, you got to be on top of the country's news, absolutely. And then you got to understand the politics behind them. So, absolutely. So the U.S. dollar, any U.S. dollar, African currency, I think I could play it. But you got to put up cash, because the spreads are ridiculous. The spreads are ridiculous. But pound, ATL trader in the house. I mean, pound, naira. You can play pound, naira, dollar, naira. You can play all those. I mean, naira is, by the way, Nigeria's currency. I could definitely easily play that. That's something I can stay on top of and understand where that's going to go. But it's really interesting and good money. He said, a guy who plays Forex doesn't know what RSI is, stochastics. He doesn't use resistance, just claims to make money. Yeah, you got a lot of people on YouTube especially that are just lying. Have you guys seen those guys? I mean, it's so sad to see, and these are black people, man, and they're going on YouTube talking about they're making this much on Forex. You're lying, dude. You're lying. I mean, it's just not true. You just cannot have a consistent strategy day trading Forex. It's not true. You just can't. Let me show you guys a USD. This is USD Canadian, all right? This is a pretty liquid strategy. Look at this chart. This is a day chart. Look at this. How do you trade this shit? This is a daily. Let me look at a 5-minute. Show you how crazy this shit is. This is a 5-minute. All right, this is a 5-minute. How the fuck do you trade this shit? Now the chart says go long, but I mean, you got some dips in here, man. Some scary looking fucking dips. And this is, by the way, only 4. What is this? This is from the 4th. From the 4th to 11th. So the charts, for the most part says go long, but, let's go look at a weekly. Here's US dollar Canadian weekly. Yeah, definitely go long. I mean, the chart says go long. But you got to understand, though, ATL trader, that's not what they're telling people. They're telling people they are day trading. They're telling people they're day trading this. And when you're day trading, let's look at a 1-minute chart in this. Look at that shit. This is the 1 minute. All right, this is the 1 minute. Obviously, this is the 1 minute. And this is 1 minute from... I mean, look at this shit. Look at this dip, bro. I mean, if I see some shit like this, I'm selling everything, bro. And then look what it does right after it. This is insane. How do you even know this is coming? How do you know this is coming? I mean, what happened between U.S. and Canada from 8:25 a.m. to 9:47 a.m. to cause this? What happened in the United States of America in 35 minutes to cause this? How do you even know that's coming? Like, if I'm long to trade, I'm out to trade. And here I am 35 minutes later, I'm fucking throwing my screen across the room because now I didn't have to sell. But you would have never even realized that. You know, because you can't tell the future. So, again, I would love to learn Forex. I know somebody out there has got to be making a killing because, you know, somebody's, you know, got to be profitable doing it. But I would love to understand how they're doing it, playing the long-term view, particularly these more liquid currencies that are a lot more affordable that everybody can take advantage of. You know, that everybody can take advantage of, because the big money, as I said, is made in the exotics, but the exotics are expensive. You know, US dollar, Japanese. This is a very liquid, you know, obviously you're seeing here the dollar losing value to the yen right now. And it all started with the looks like back on the, I'm still on the 5-minute chart. See, I don't know what's causing that right now. I mean, we're losing value right now. This is the 1-minute chart. And I don't even know why it's going down. Here's looking at the daily. Here's the daily. All right. I mean, this is just a mess. From January to now. I mean, it's all over the place. ATL Trading set Forex calendar for news. Yeah, I would just stick to stocks, penny stocks. All right. They're small companies. I understand the financials. They have 1 or 2 products or services. You know, you look at the chart, figure out what people are saying on social media. You know, they're easy. You kind of already know that they're probably going to head for the, you know, for the turd basket, but you just try to scalp as much green as you can here and there. You know, but when we're talking about economies, trillion-dollar economies, I don't know how you can stay on top of it. TXTM, let's go look at equities one last time before we get up out of here. TXTM, we talked about TXTM yesterday. If you remember, we showed that video of that guy who claimed to be in South Africa. Probably was in his backyard somewhere in St. Louis in the suburbs. Talking about how they plan on doing something with South African gold, or I wasn't even really listening. But could run. Again, 000 stock, so you're going to have to roll them and hold them. I mean, that's basically all you're going to have to do and see what can happen. Oh, yeah, Bats, go ahead. Let me give you the, there it is. So go ahead and post those links, but you can hit up Bats. I think somebody was talking about FinViz and whatnot. Bats got some really great abilities to, you know, set up some really good ways for the scanners. Are there any books you can recommend on reading financials? Not so much technical, but more on the fundamental side. You read 9 technical books in the last 8 weeks. I mean, Bose, you read 9 books in the last 8 weeks on technicals. On reading financials. There's a really good book. I think it's actually called like Introduction to Financial Statements. Tim Sykes has that one where it's how to read SEC statements. It's out there. I used to, you know, give it away, but unfortunately we know what happened with that situation. So you might want to look through and find that. Go to his website and buy it for, I think it's like $1,400. Wink, wink. All right, so Bats just put out his thing out. Little screener. All right, there. So definitely take a look at that. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, you know, damn, I didn't think it'd been a 2-hour episode. Shit. It went by fast. TXTM, not bad. Get out of here. So I won't be here tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. But I'll be back with you guys next week. So far, like I said, man, gold is still doing its thing. The Koreans are still, got their fist up, ready to fight. I keep telling you guys, man. Everybody, I posted that thing on Twitter where everybody's, talking like Mike Tyson, man. Everybody's, like Mike. That's the America. America's Mike Tyson. Korea is Buster Douglas, and we don't understand that Korea has been waiting for this just one moment, man. Imagine you having a problem with a dude and you beat him up in kindergarten, right? You beat him up in kindergarten, and now you in high school and you about to fight this dude again. And this dude has been practicing and dreaming about this day since the day he was, since the day you beat him up in kindergarten. You might be bigger than him, but he's been planning and just salivating over the idea of being able to fight you again. And the first time you beat him up, you didn't even really, you fucked him up a little bit, but you didn't really put no, KO on him. You know what I'm saying? So now you're thinking like, okay, I'm going to go in and take care of this dude again. And it might not be that easy. It might not be that easy. And I'm hearing some of the same talk that when I watch a lot of these documentaries on like Vietnam and the first Korean War and the Bush administration during the Iraq War. Oh yeah, we're going to go in there and we're going to, it's going to be a quick war and we're just going to, drop some bombs here and there. That's all we do is drop a couple bombs. But guess what? Eventually you're going to have to put some boots on the ground. You're going to have to put some boots on the ground. And that's where, let's just be honest, as a country, we're not very good at fighting conventional armies. We're fighting real armies. I'm not talking about, the what's they call it, in Iraq, what's they call it, the something brotherhood and all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want us to send 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 young men and women, to die for North Korea, man. Come on, like, what are we talking about here right now? Why are we allowing the media to talk like this right now? Why are we allowing the President of the United States to say this shit? Like it's okay for us to just lose 20,000 of our young people for North Korea, dude. These people, there's nothing to win there. There's nothing for us. The country has no natural resources. I think they have like copper or tin or some shit like that. I mean, what are we fighting for here? You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. Yeah, it was a horrible war, man. We lost over, some people still today, like the Vietnam War, they think that the American government is underestimating the numbers. And I honestly believe that. I believe we lost way more than 55,000 in Korea. I think we lost way more than 55,000 in Vietnam. Because you guys remember, they think that the Vietnam War that was greatly underestimated. I believe that too. I believe that too. Because if you talk to a lot of these veterans, like these POW MIA veterans, every time I see them, they're real cool people. I was like, hey, welcome home, brother. You shake their hand, just say welcome home and stuff like that. And, if you get one that's pretty talkative, I'll ask them. I'm like, man, do you think the United States government is underestimating the body count? They'll say, hell yeah. Hell yeah. We lost way more than what they're saying we did. Every single POW MIA veteran I've ever talked to says that. So, these Asians, man, I don't know why we talk like that about them. Like we just go in there and, hit them up and that's it, man. Nah, when we put some boots on the ground, these Asians put in work. They put in work, man. And I don't want to see people that I grew up with. I don't want to see people my age. I don't want to see young people on TV 21-year-olds, 23-year-olds, you know, 19-year-olds. I saw one time on the in the Iraq War. I remember it just like yesterday. I saw one guy. He was like 18 years old, and killed in Iraq. Now I understand he's, you know, he signed a contract or whatever, but still, man, you know, that's something you look back on and you're like, man, really? Did we really have to even do that? Did we really have to go that far? You know, looking back on that war, did we even really have to do that? 312, you're on the air. What's up?
Hey, how you doing, Sal? It's Martez from Chicago.
All right, what's up with you, bro?
Nothing much, man. I'm just happy to see you back on, man. Yeah, I'm like going through some financial difficulties, you know, but I'm getting on your level, and I'm about to start investing and everything.
Yes,
I was going to ask, what were you going to say?
No, I was saying yes, indeed. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Do you still do the Friday shows? I know you said you're not doing it tomorrow, but are you doing it next week? Or
You see, I'm going to start a channel for that, man, but right now I'm just trying to get on the good side of YouTube, so...
okay.
But I want to get back to doing the Friday shows, but I'm going to do them on a separate channel because I don't want to fuck this shit up.
No, okay, so that's real. What, like, because I'm getting into LLCs and all that kind of stuff, and it's very complicated.
Okay.
Can you relate? Does that relate to investing at all? Like, say I got a small business, you know, can I use the profits from that to invest, or is that not good to do?
Absolutely. I mean, you can trade under a corporation. Now, I had legal help with all this. I didn't use an LLC. I'm actually a C corporation. So,
okay,
again, that depends on your state and the rules and whatnot in your state. But man, you'd be
is
surprised.
that expensive to do on the small level?
No. I mean, you know, I filed my incorporation by myself in my own paperwork. You can go to your Secretary of State's website, you know, and fill it out. Typically, it's about $100, $125, something like that. You incorporate in your state, all right? Don't fall for incorporating in another state or whatnot, because when it's time to do your taxes, these local, you know, accountants, they will charge you up the ass if you actually have an out-of-state corporation. So they will charge you up the ass because they got to read up on some things and filings and whatnot. So always incorporate in your state. It also helps with banking and whatnot too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate
everything you're doing and everything like that, man. And keep doing the good work.
Appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. So, yeah, incorporate in your state. Call up your broker. Let them know, hey, I'd like to trade under a corporation. They'll get the documents. You can set up a new account or transfer your current account that's in your name into a corporation. So you can trade under a corporation. Eventually, after you've done it for at least 12 months, and filed an income tax under the corporation. I forgot what's the actual document called. You can actually apply to the IRS to be labeled as a trader. You can Google that too. That's another. It's not a difficult process, but it also gives you some extra-ended incentives on being able to claim certain things that you otherwise can, you know, as a regular home office, like, you know, you're doing DBAs, but it's taxed a little bit differently. All right. There's a whole little thing into that, but, you know, once you get your corporation started, you want to get that started first, then, you know, hit up some of these accountants in your areas. You know, go up to meetup.com. Meetup.com is like a really great place to find, like, other entrepreneurs in your local area or business people, because they have like little things. So if you're near a big city, or at least a city that, you know, where you have a decent population and people take business seriously, you can meet with some really great business people who will be able to, you know, share some knowledge with you, man. You'd be surprised how many people who make more than you, don't have anything to lose, will share knowledge with you, as if you come humbly and say, look, I'm just getting started. I'm looking to build my financial situation. I have a small company, and I'm looking to learn a little bit more about, you know, how can I, you know, take my tax situation and make it more beneficial for me. And these accountants, they will cut their prices, some of them, you know, in half, just to, you know, be able to say, hey, I helped this guy out. You know what I'm saying? So, but you just gotta be willing to ask, and you gotta put yourself out there. So create your business, get your little business cards, you know, on you know, these websites where you can get them free or for $10, and then just start, you know, putting yourself out there. And these people will give you their services for pennies on the dollar. Pennies on the dollar. You'll be surprised, you know, because they know they don't have anything to really lose with you. And the work that you need done is easy because you're not bringing in millions. You're not bringing in hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you're not putting them in a situation that, you know, they could be losing their license or doing anything risque. You know what I mean? It's easy as shit. But you got to be willing to put yourself out there and get the information. You know, and let them know, hey, I don't have much to work with. Let them know off top, like, I'm not the guy who's going to give you $2,500 when I'm not a profitable trader yet. You know, let them know all that. Yeah. You said YouTube censoring, not paying out lately. Yeah, but I mean, Facebook just came out with a YouTube alternative called Watch. I don't know if you guys heard of that, but they're going to be releasing this YouTube alternative called Watch, WATCH. So I'll be checking out and seeing what that is. And of course, yeah, I'll be, you know, slapping a whole bunch of penny stock videos on there if it's decent and it looks like some people would actually be interested in it. Hopefully it's not like, you know, what was that thing that was supposed to go up against Facebook that Google was going to come out with, and a bunch of nerds actually thought that was going to pop off. It was kind of supposed to be like the Facebook version, the Google version of Facebook. It was horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Mag, you said, what was the site? What do you mean, what was the site? Yeah, but anyway, guys, I you know, like I was saying, I was just playing last time when we were talking about Korea. I really don't want Korea to do anything, man, because, you know, whatever we end up doing, you know, all we're going to do is end up sending a bunch of poor, you know, poor white boys, poor black boys, poor Hispanic boys to go out there and die, you know, for at the end of the day, nothing. At the end of the day, nothing, because we're not going to gain anything from any country we invade or terrorize or anything. There's nothing these countries have to give us at all. At all. It's all ego at the end of the day. When America goes to war, it's all about ego. You know, if you really look at all the wars that we've had, especially since World War II, engagements, you know, it's all ego. Ego, 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 ego. And it's sad. Sad, sad, sad. And we allow it to happen as Americans. We've been allowing it. You know? We've been allowing it. Yeah, Google Plus. Google Plus is it. Yeah, Google Plus was horrible. Google Plus was horrible. Horrible, 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 man. They still have Google Plus. You know, I think it's for like IT nerds. If you're like an IT guy, or if you're into web development and shit like that, all those guys have Google Plus things. But nobody's fucking with Google Plus. Yeah, the military-industrial complex. Exactly right. Oh, yeah, it was called Meetup.com. Meetup.com. Meetup.com is the website. Meetup.com. There's always somebody putting on some kind of group or event for entrepreneurs. You'll have on there just meetups for like people with dogs or people with, you know, singles parties, all type of things on Meetup.com. Anytime I'm in a new spot, I try to hit up a meetup just to see what, you know, people are talking about, especially the business and entrepreneurs. You know, because you'd be surprised, man. You'll have like these startups that are doing meetups, like come and see what we're doing, and you can just go in there and just see what they're doing, man, and just up your level of consciousness going into meeting people who are trying to, you know, shape the world, man, with the stuff that they're creating. And you don't have to go there and be anybody's best friend, but just showing your face and, you know, saying like, oh yeah, I'm just here to learn. I'm just here to see what you guys are, you know, are doing. Always dress appropriately. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you know, put in your best foot forward, because, you know, You know how they're gonna look at you if you're not, you know, right for the situation. Alienable, okay. Alignable, okay, cool. So he was trying to get into a lot of that in Washington. Yeah, definitely, man. Those are little good websites to just kind of show your face at. Bring a friend, you know, if you feel like you're not the type of person who's just kind of go in there and be able to you know, spark up conversations with people. Bring a friend, you know what I mean, and just enjoy it. A lot of times you can leave out there with goodies. I've left with shirts and hats and free water bottles, you know, shit like that. You know, you're not going to go in there and leave with a new car or something like that. But, you know, you get a lot of freebies, a lot of free coupons and shit like that to, you know. Yeah. Or bring your lady, too, sometimes, because, you know, you got a lot of stuff like that to do with your lady as well. So, all right. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, you know, been a good day. I think gold will continue to run tomorrow because I don't honestly think we're going to have this solved. Yeah, man. Until then, man, I'm chilling from 93 till. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy your weekend. Call somebody in your family. Tell them you love them. Somebody you haven't spoken to in a long time. Call them up. See how they're doing. Show them that hey, I've been thinking about you. I've been doing that these last weekends. I've been calling, you know, different people in my family. I just called my mom's sister last week, and I just said, hey, auntie, I mean, you know, I haven't seen you in a while, but I just want to say I've been thinking about you and praying for you. I just want to let you know I love you, you know? So it's just good. It's just good to reach out to people in your family. Let them know, man. Let them know, because I just been thinking, man, people in my family that get older, you know, my mom's sisters, my dad's brothers, they're getting older, and I'm just like, man, like these people aren't, you know, running around like they used to, you know? So it's for me to step up and stay in contact with these people and let these people know that they're loved and appreciated. Yeah, this is that good soul music, man. It's that old hip hop right here. I forgot the name of the group, but the song is called From 93 Till Infinity. I've always said those people who lived, if you went to high school from 1988 to like 1994, you had the best rap music, period. The best hip hop rap. I think that was you did it, man. You had the best music. I'm so jealous of that generation. I'm really jealous of that generation. I think like you had the best music. You had the people who dance. You had the gangster shit. You had the Eazy-E. You had early Tupac. You had some of the best Dr. Dre stuff. Who else was hot then, man? You had a lot of good Rakim shit. Man, it was just 88 to 94, man. That's like a lot of some of my favorite tracks. Souls of Mischief. Yeah, Souls of Mischief. Yeah. I'm so jealous of that group. And I remember just listening to those older kids and the music that they listen to. You know. Yeah. From 92, yeah, from 88 to about 94, I think was the best hip hop. But it all goes through stages, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to remember, after that MC Hammer days, you had a lot of guys who came out who were real hard and edgy to kind of clap back on that. So hip hop goes through ages, it goes through cycles, man. Right now, we're going through some guys who are being real emotional on the track and shit like that. But then you'll have a 50 Cent guy show up. You know what I mean? You'll have a 50 Cent character, I think, in the next year or two, where you'll have this guy who just comes out and he's just gangster as fuck, hyper masculine, and he's going to shut all that shit down. It always happens like that. It It always happens like that. You know. Tribe Called Quest, Raycon, yeah, all those guys, man. Tupacalypse. Eric B, I loved Eric B. Who said Migos? Man, fuck, Migos is such a whore. Let me tell you something, man. If you compare Migos to some of those bands that came out in the, you know, I'm talking early 90s, late, man, Migos would get shit on, bro. I mean, the Migos, their rhymes are so elementary compared to some of those dudes. You know, I wouldn't even compare Migos to like Tribe Called Quest or, you know, Tupac and who's his group he used to run with? I can't remember. I mean, no competition, bro. No competition at all. Yeah. Right. So, and I was just thinking like too, all these hip hop billionaires we have, if you notice all these hip hop billionaires that we have, or hip hop multi-millionaires, they're all pretty much the same generation. Diddy, Dre, Jay-Z, they're all pretty much born around the same time and they're about the same age. They all came during a very lucky time where you can still be able to make money selling records, and they were able to own their masters and make, you know, a hell of cash. But a lot of the rappers coming out now, everything is such about distribution and all that. You don't even get a chance, really. You don't really got a chance. I mean, there's some cats out there like Yo Gotti and what's this brother out of Memphis? I forgot his name. Another dude out of Memphis. Tall, dark-skinned brother. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He's another guy who ain't signing no contract. So, you know, you still got some people out here trying to do it the old-fashioned way, and they're making good money doing it. Yeah, but I don't like these younger rappers, though. It's way too emo for me. You got rappers out here singing about suicide. There was a rapper I heard this rap song on the track where this guy's talking about, all my friends have died. Something. I mean, rappers singing about suicide. That would never happen, bro. 10 years, you would never hear a rapper sing about or rap about committing suicide. That's like the bitch shit thing to do. That's the worst. You would never do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Master P. Master P's another one of those guys. You know, even what's his name? The guy from Cash Money. All these guys who, you know, are millionaire hip hop heads, they all came in that same generation where you just had a time where people were willing to make deals for multi-millions of dollars and they were able to benefit off that. Dolph, yeah, that's his name. Dolph. MC Lyte. MC Lyte will slay the shit out of Cardi B. You know, I was listening to this Cardi B track that she just put out, something Kodak Black or something like that. Bodak Black, Bodak Yellow, or whatever bullshit it is. And, you know, everybody's like, oh my God, Cardi B, she went off on this track. Oh, and I'm thinking like, do you know what MC Lyte or Queen Latifah would do to this beat back in the day? Like, they would destroy this shit. And not only that, you would like actually learn some shit from what the hell she was just talked about. That's one of the things I also love about 90s hip hop, is that you actually can listen to the rhymes and I'll be like, oh shit, I didn't even know about that shit. I didn't even know that. And next thing you know, I'm looking through the history books. I'm going on Wikipedia like, okay, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Man, I really hope we get back to that. There's some guys who really spit that classic shit, but as somebody said in the chat room, you got to go underground with that, man. There's a lot of good underground rappers who spit that real shit. Yeah. Joyner Lucas. Okay, I'll check him out. Joyner Lucas. Let me copy that right now. I was really big on this guy named Blue, B-L-U. Light-skinned brother. He's got a really sick flow. I was really big into J. Cole, and then J. Cole started getting real. He's starting to get commercial a little bit. But he still got some stupid lyrics, though. I ain't gonna lie. J. Cole still got some stupid lyrics. What's his name? This other dude, Sean. Big Sean. I like Big Sean. Big Sean's got some real good lyrics. He's got a real early 90s kind of sound to him. I like Big Sean a lot. He seems like he's out of his time. Big Sean could fit in like 92, 93. Even the way he looks like an early 90s rapper. Dark skin with the fade. First Outkast, yeah, Outkast. Outkast was the shit. He said Kendrick Lamar is the modern day rap savior. You know what though? Kendrick Lamar is hot because we haven't seen that shit in years though. But even if you take Kendrick Lamar's shit and you compare it to some of them old dudes, Kendrick Lamar gets shit on, bro. If you take Kendrick Lamar rhymes and you compare it against, you know, like a Rakim or something like that, man, he gets bodied, dude. Like, it's so deep because we ain't heard it in a minute. You know? Yeah, or you look at somebody like Big Pun. Big Pun shit on, you know, Kendrick Lamar. Like let's be honest, man. I'm not taking anything away from the dude, boy. The man's good at what he does. But I'm starting to hear a little bit of singing on his shit too. I like Tech 9, but it's a little bit violent for me, man. Tech 9 is good, but you know, all that violence and shit, man. All that violence. It kind of reminds me of Prodigy and his group. What was the name of his group again? Rest in peace to Prodigy too, man. That was a young brother who hit big really early. I think I think Prodigy, that's why it was so young and so crazy to see him pass, because Prodigy's been in the media spotlight since he was like, what, 17? 18? I remember hearing Prodigy, I think when I was like 6 or 7. I mean, I just landed in America. And, you know, remember hearing that Mobb Deep shit. Yeah, Mobb Deep, man. But again, like I said, I was just jealous of those older kids because they had the best tracks, man. The traps we have is garbage. I'm thinking when I was in high school, you know, 01 to 05, and you know, I can't even tell you what, I mean, besides 50 Cent, 01 to 05, I mean, what did we have? You know, we had some decent Outkast shit. We had some, you know, who else was good 01 to 05? I mean, Usher, but that's not even real rap. I mean, we had a couple of dudes here and there, but nothing like the late 80s, early 90s. Nothing like that at all. Twista, yeah. Illuminati, yeah, Pope Pimp. You know, he said the Illuminati killed him. Nah, man, I think, you know, Prodigy had issues with he had health issues, man. And he was doing something about it, but I think he wasn't. Goody Mob, yeah, Goody Mob was good. But it was pretty much 50 Cent when I was in high school. It was all about 50 motherfuckers' clothing lines and shit like that. Man, I feel so bad. I remember it just like yesterday, just begging my mom to buy this $70 Sean John shirt, and all it was a fucking red tee that said Sean John in cursive. I had my mom pay $70 for that shirt. And I've always, like, whenever I get kind of sad, I go and bring that up to my mom. I've given that money back 10 times since, but I always, because I never forget it, I made her feel bad for not buying it for me, and she went back and bought it for me. And I just, you know, again, I chalk that up to just being young and, you know, trying to, you know, look cool in school, you know. But I just look back and I'm just like, how stupid, man. $70 for a white tee that somebody somewhere just ironed on Sean John, and that held so much value to me, you know. Sad, bro. Sad. But that was the time. That was the time. Everybody wanted the labels and baby fat. I remember girls were wearing apple bottom jeans and like a big ass apple on her ass and shit like that. And I was like, cute then. I'm looking at pictures now, and what a fucking joke. What a fucking joke that people actually thought that was like cute and sexy, to have a pocket with a big ass apple on your ass. You know? Crazy shit, right? Yeah, man, big ass white tees and shit. I mean, I'm looking at some of these pictures from when I was in high school with the big ass white tees. I'm like, you look so fucking stupid. So fucking stupid. Like, that shirt don't even fit, dude. Like the shirt, the ring of the shirt is like where my fucking chain is at. Like, it's just dumb. Yeah. Crazy shit, bro. 8-ball MJG, Chop and Screwed. Yeah, Chop and Screwed was some. I can't even stand Chop and Screwed now. And what was funny about Chop and Screwed is that what happens, like, you would have a guy put out a regular album, and then he'll have the same album but like Chop and Screwed version, and people would buy that shit, you know. And then I guess people eventually woke up and like, what the fuck is this shit? I can't even understand what the hell they're saying. Y'all remember that shit? It'll be Chop and Screwed versions of albums. UGK was the shit though. I did like UGK. I like Nelly. I liked when Nelly came out. Nelly seemed like he was okay. You know, Nelly actually had some rhymes. If you could get past his accent, Nelly had some rhymes. T.I. still the shit. I still like T.I. I think T.I. is a rapper who, you know, had some decent lines, although I wouldn't say he was a pure lyricist, because sometimes I feel like T.I. is talking instead of actually rapping. But, you know, he's got some wordplay. I would say he definitely got some good catchy wordplay. Yeah. Ghetto Boys. Yeah. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get off here so you guys can go and enjoy the rest of your evening. We survived another night without our military doing anything ridiculous. And let me leave with this too. Isn't it funny how if these missiles get launched, right, somebody's going to die on their side, on our side. And guess what? Somebody's going to make some money off that. Isn't that fucked up? It is so fucked up that somebody is going to make some money. And somebody's already making money. And I'm not talking about the money I'm making. I'm a couple $100 here and there. I'm talking somebody is somewhere making millions of dollars on the idea that somebody could die tomorrow. On the very idea that a couple thousand people can lose their life. Man, if that doesn't tell you that this game is evil as fuck, I don't know what else can. I mean, evil as fuck. You know? Yeah, it's is sick, man. But then I put that out there on my Twitter when I talked about, you know, I showed you how Wall Street, the wall that we know as Wall Street was built by slaves. And then, you know, that article did a good job of breaking it all down. And, how the original Wall Street, they built the wall, and it's so crazy because some of the people who built the wall ended up being one of the first few slaves to actually be sold on the street. How crazy is that shit? So that is Wall Street as we know it today. So the exploitation continues, man. The exploitation continues, but it's sad, man. But that's the world we live in, man. You know, I want it to be. You want it to be better. You want it, but that's capitalism. You know, and contrary to what anybody says, you got to have a loser in capitalism. You got to have a loser. Not everybody can win. Somebody has to lose. You know, and unfortunately, in this game right now that we're playing minute to minute, hour by hour, somebody is betting on a couple thousand people losing their life. You know, and somebody is praying, and some mother somewhere is scared to death. Some banker somewhere is loading his position, praying that that missile gets launched. Sad, man. It's crazy shit. Crazy ass shit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me get up out of here before I turn this into a 5-hour show. I won't be here tomorrow unless something goes down. Obviously, if something goes down, I'll be on tomorrow night if we launch that missile or something else happens. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say about it. If not, I'll see you guys back here Monday evening. Africa Emporium, Skip Proprietor, Cali Girl, Londale Carter, Stock Guy, Troy Talbert, Martez Spencer, excuse me. All my callers who called up, I appreciate you. Trader Trace, thank you, sir. Stock Z's. All the people who tuned in to listen tonight, everybody please press like if you can. Eban R, thank you, sir. Michael B, thank you. I'll see you back here Monday night. Take care.